but I'll be alright. Cause when it's all over, yeah, I'm done.
Hi, Ongeza Volume family. Welcome to episode 18. I am your host, Abigail Diana. Tabidi mmesamehe my voice kidogo. I'm not sure if I'm coming down with a cold or if I'm fighting allergies. But see what I'm mnanisikia? That's all that matters. Anyway, for this episode we're gonna cover events that I attended in November 2024. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. First off, on 2nd November, I attended an event that I got an invite for. It was a uniquely curated UNS event at Suntown Mala by K Rope and Friends. I got the invite from Yalisen, who's a producer. He rebranded from Sam Bogwa. K Rope is a visionary music producer and a DJ. The theme was pink, and the edition was Birds of a Feather. So there was a pickup point where you all agreed to be picked up from, and then they would take you to the venue. So I got to the pickup point on time, lakini wa Kenya, eh? I had never been that far, like into or past Kangundo Road ever. So once they got to pick us up, it was a couple of minutes away from the pickup point. Got to the venue, and then ukiingia, the ambiance was doing the thing. There's a tiny blackboard written White Yagasa Badi, and then the spelling of Badi was like Birdia, like a bird, and then like Badi. That was really cool because it was, Birds of a Feather edition. Watu ni wa creativity huku nje. So basically, that was the studio where all the magic usually happens. When you get into the building, there's so much art that is around the walls. And the recording studio itself had a wall that is signed by all your favorite artists and producers. Hata mimi ilibidi nimeambiwa ni sign just for being there. There's a painting series titled Monkey Business that was so interesting on the wall. There was another wall that was painted with cassettes. Like everything was so artistic and interesting on the walls. Upon arrival, everybody was given an anchor button. I still have mine. It's pink. I think every edition has its different color. The mix that was playing initially had alternative versions of some of the common songs that we know, which are definitely remixes. We talked about the importance of having different versions of various songs in the previous episode, as explained by K Rob himself, Yeah Listen, and Sam Ari. So you guys go listen to the end of episode 17. There's some information about that. It was a BYOB, and everyone was given a welcome signature cocktail, and we got to cheers once there was quorum. It was mostly interactions as music played in the background. At some point, Listen was playing keys along to the music. I cited Kiroko's album art, which is Erosha's song, and I was told that Akilihuru did it. It's a picture of ties in black and white stripes, and then below there was a mirror. So definitely, I had to take a mirror selfie. Hey, thick ties save lives, guys. The audience was pure vibes, and a lot of the music that was played was Kenyan music. One thing that stands out about K Rob, he enjoys playing his own music, released and released everything, remixes. Anapenda kucheza mziki yake sana, which is very outstanding. Not everybody does that a lot. People danced so much. Yo, you guys, I don't even want to say more about this event. The full video is on YouTube, and I'm gonna put the link in the description so that you guys can go have a look at us having so much fun at Anchor. On 3rd November, the next day, I was hosting Kinoti at R&B Uncovered. He did covers to common Kenyan R&B music. At some point, he called Charisma onto stage. Kinoti performed some unreleased music. Unfortunately, his guitar string ikakatika somewhere within the performance. And guess what? There was a keyboard there, and luckily, there was a lot of instrumentalists and artists within the audience that came to see Kinoti. One of them was Gavi. So Gavi volunteered to go help Kinoti play. Makiu, I don't even know if they've played ever together, so they had to like improvise. But uzuri wa wasanii, you'll never catch them slacking. Like hata uwapate wapi, they'll still be ready to always take the stage, which is a good thing. At the end, he performed Nitangoja with all the R&B kings that were present, all the way from Ochiko, African Vic, and Charisma. On 6th November, I was invited to Thum Sessions, which is a new curation by Joy Ndinda. She is the brains behind Thum Sessions. I think honestly, it's an amazing idea and initiative for her to capture the artists who are deep into their own culture. So for this first edition, we had Akoth Jumadi and Kidawa Tutu, and the venue was at Nyerere Michael's studio, and he had some really interesting pieces of art that were on display. So I want to tell you guys just briefly about what Thum Sessions is. Thum Sessions encourages artists to embrace and express their authentic cultural roots through music. It's a platform dedicated to supporting artists who showcase their heritage, traditional sounds, and unique cultural influences. By creating a space for these authentic, culturally rich performances, Thum Sessions aims to celebrate and preserve Kenya's diverse musical identity, allowing artists to share their stories and connect with audiences through powerful lens of their own traditions and styles. In this first session, they featured Akoth Jumadi, as I've told you guys, and she's a Nairobi born sound architect who fuses ethereal folk sounds with contemporary and tribal elements, exploring themes of love, healing, and spiritual emancipation, political liberation, and cultural integration in arts. They also featured Kidawatutu yenye nimewambia, who's also referred to as Mwana wa Muziki, and she's a Swahili musician who fuses her Tarab sound to her music, focusing on themes of love. After this edition, there was another one that I'll tell you guys about. But for now, let's go to the next event. On 16th November, I attended Letters to Loved Ones, which was a curation by the same Kidawa Tutu, and it was happening at Elewa Creative Hub. Once you had your ticket scanned, you were given a popsicle with your name on it, handmade by Kidawa herself. That was really sweet. I still have my popsicle. They were to use the outdoor space, but it rained so heavily. So they moved into the garage at the venue, which didn't have as much space, but they eventually made it work. I arrived a bit late because, yo, rains and allergies, bruh, it's crazy. And also, I wasn't feeling too well a bit in the morning, but nilijambia lazima ni attend manze because I got invited. And it was a really interesting curation because all the acts were carefully picked for this particular show. So I really wanted to see how that would eventually unfold. I found La Chirono performing, and boy, is she someone to look out for. I loved how a lot of people and artists stand up to support Kidawa, regardless of her not having released music officially. Zawadi performed next, and she performed with Zalali and Clark King on keys. Next was Njoki Karu with Newman. The lineup, nakwambia, so well curated. I love Njoki so much. I think we've already established that this far. She performed covers, originals, and unreleased music. Next was Costa Ojwang, and he was performing with Olosule and Gaidon percussions. He performed music of Imposter Syndrome Normal and Fuen. He managed to also plug Watenda Willy's new project Enroute, Kodong's new project Disco, Ochiko's single Ochikure, like in the middle of his own performance. That was really cool. Artists for artists, wallahi. Okilomax joined him on stage and Kidawa as well. Kidawa started mimicking Costa's chants, and it was so funny. When they started singing together, their voices blended so well. And then finally, it was Mwenye Siku, Mwenye Eventi. Kidawa's time to get onto stage arrived. She said, as always, she is a lover of love. And let me tell you, she doesn't have released music, but people were singing along to her music. It's crazy. She called Ochiko onto stage to perform Ochikure. And then at the end of her performance, she introduced her team and everyone that made that day possible. Once you exited the venue, hapo kwa mlango, you could take a sticky note and write anything regarding love or a message directed to Kidawa herself, and then stick it on the manila paper. And after the show, they were able to take all those sweet messages back home. I think that was a really cool concept. On 20th November, I attended Love Hate Part 2 live performance by Zinia Manasseh, and the venue was going to be at Alchemist. Let me tell you, I had never attended a Zinia Manasseh show before, ever in my entire life. I know, I know. So I was so excited. You guys can imagine how excited I was. Unajua kwanza ilituambia tuvae green. Hey, ilibidi tumetafuta green kwa outfits zetu manze. And we pulled up. So, lazima tutafika kwa venue mapema kama kuna excitement. But it took so long for the event to start. There was no DJ, there was no MC. It looked like there was nothing in particular going on. It was just like a playlist that was playing in the background, which I think is a gap they should have filled. Because wase wenye walifika mapema, kuna wenye walitoka nje, they were like, hey, there's nothing going on. At least if there was something that was there to engage the people, like a DJ or an MC, hire me, guys, hire me. I was like, oh my god, I would have filled this gap. But yeah, eventually, out of nowhere, amongst the silence, Watenda really stepped onto stage, and then we were like, oh, kumbe they were gonna perform. We thought they were just gonna feature. And by this time, they had just released Enroute, their album. So they got to perform Safari, Maovu, and then the old releases like For Real, Chamtum, and Inakubalika. They were performing with an acoustic guitar. Yoya was playing it, and tracks because they had like a laptop over there on stage. Then finally, it was Z o'clock after the band was done setting up. The band was a syndicate comprising of Jeziel on drums, Nick Kera on bass guitar, and Lucas Mwesh on keys, Ivy Alexander on lead guitar. Nakwambia Zinia Manasseh's outfit was so bomb. She started her performance out smooth. At some point, dancers walk up on the stage. The second or third song, and they were dancers from Art in Motion. She performed tracks from both part 1 and part 2, and also Falling Apart, which is an older project. After full live performance made me fall in love with the song even more. The arrangement and the choreography. Hey, yo. Ivy did a solo on the song We Honestly Stand. During this solo, they did a call and answer with Z, which eventually transitioned into Gangsta. Zinnia called Mali onto stage to perform GI's intro of part 1. And guess what? GI was in attendance. From part 2, she performed Fight For You, Bad Side. A. Bad Side makes you feel like a bad bitch. Chemistry, Fire, Sober. And the band went nuts during Sober.
is the longest hangover.
Asali makes you want to whine.
Your heart, and I keep on baby, I'm looking for a love. I don't have time for no I love you, I love you, and I miss you. If you're looking for a thought, tell me that say I'm mine. My friends, tell me I yeah.
Dare you makes you feel like a bad bitch. Like, don't stress me.
Say who you think you is pulling up on me like that? Trying to make a scene. Who do you think you're fooling? You like to play these games a lot, but this one you won't win. No, you ain't trying to test the bitch's patience from there. You said you wanted out, so why you complaining? You had no doubt, so it's just entertainment. Don't take me for a fool. I stay strapped with a loose big man. You big man, but you lost when you could have.
How she was able to sing and dance is so fascinating. She got to perform some more tracks from part one and Falling Apart. The crowd engagement was insane. She then went ahead to perform our Sad Nigga Hours anthem, When It's Over. That song makes me wanna cry. Bruh. Makes you wanna cry over a relationship you're not even in.
It's the first time I'm performing it in Nairobi, actually. And it's off my very first EP called Falling Apart. I still fall for the trap, set myself up for a recap. I still fall for the trap, set myself up for a recap. But I'll take the beat, make you think it's not the last time. But I'll be alright, 'cause when it's all over,
moving on to Sidwe Lapo. She performed Hash with the dancers and they mashed up Hash with Rich Girl. The choreography makes me so excited every single time. Later on, they also did that same performance and choreography at Blankets, which I will talk about in the next episode. And I uploaded it on YouTube, so you guys should go and watch that. Mwone kenye ninasema sio jaba, nikona evidence. They performed Beba featuring Watendawili for the first time ever together on stage. Oh my gosh, there's nothing I love like fast. She performed Still Lose and Phases, and as always, she closes out with Watu Wangu.
This song is called Watu Wangu. For those of you that don't speak Swahili, it means my people. And I always end my sets with this song just to say thank you to everybody that shows up for me in any way. Very grateful. Thank you will never be enough, but at least you'll always have this song.
She was going to exit, and then she was told, hold up, Rudy stage. And then Mali and Rezaman got her back to stage and gifted her their limited edition merchandise. Hata mimi nataka hiyo merch, guys. I want it. The performance ended exactly at midnight. I mean, by this time, I know you guys know that I love events that end by midnight. Sleep time is very important, guys. The outro was so beautiful.
Please make some noise for the zeal on the drums. For Nick on bass. Ivy on guitar.
And you know what? I took into account all the songs that she performed, and amazingly enough, she actually did perform all the songs from Love Hate Part 2, which essentially was the purpose of the event. So I was happy. I was satisfied. I loved this event. On 22nd November, I got invited to the Kodong Clan Disco Fan Show that was happening at K1. K1 used to be an events hub a while back, and then went a bit dormant in terms of hosting live shows. I think they used to do with Afri Nation Kitambo. I don't know what happened, but it seems that they are back. I think the last time I was at K1 was a rock show that I told you guys about. So let's dive into it. You guys had asked me to review this already on Instagram stories. So basically, what I'm doing is just going through what I said. Gavi was the first thing that I noticed on keys. I arrived when Charisma was performing. It was cute how he was incorporating the TikTok trend. Yeah, Njeri, wachana na mapedi, njoni kupe penzi, yeah, instead of the original lyrics for Osinanoma. Apparently, Dex, Suda, and Watandawili had already performed, unfortunately. Yo, that day was raining also. I can hear you sing, Jerry. Ashley joined Charisma onto stage during Sinanoma. Bruh, it was raining so hard, and then the lights zilipotea at some point, and everybody started chanting Ruto must go. That is constant at any event at this point. Next on stage was Okilomax. He started off his performance with Sunset, which is one of my favorite songs, honestly. I'm telling you, it was the true meaning of the festive season because I have never experienced this song live, police na guitar, and he decided to perform it. Hey, okay. Okelo was leaving, and then the crowd chanted Diana. Yo, one of my favorite songs as well. And I'm so glad that they did because this track has drag. So he came back and performed the song acoustic. Tulisakata tukiwaruka mbele ya taa, katikati ya misa kawa kwalo glances nyamoroa sowoto kodisa midio gala nemora tosami tundo koro bye bye joga no joga no joga okna dwanidi okni dwanadi worusiko na osama sama koro apondo etedero alinge chunsero atumana kimombo Next on stage was Costa Ojuang, and he was introduced with so much zeal. Everybody was so excited to see him on stage. Ojuizi mwenyewe. He started off with Wabiro, which was a very interesting choice. Hat the band were one of the surprise acts for the night. At this point, it was very late, by the way. Hii event ilisha sijui 2 a.m. ama ilikuwa 3 a.m. I saw a lot of people complain about the time. Unaona, si mimi peke yangu natakanga hizi vitu ziishe mapema. Let me tell you, I realized that the band ni mabangers too, honestly, like ever since. I don't know if this was the first time I was seeing Hat the band live. I think I should be intentional about seeing them with a full band because I know Dremasharia plays drums for them, and I think Steve-O should be playing keys for the band, yeah. And probably to Gimlamba on lead, but I'm not too sure about that.
What? It's your brother. Are you ready? Come on.
So ideally, the plan for this event was individual performances, very brief ones, and then now all of them combined as Kodong Clan. But before they all of them got onto stage for Kodong Clan, walianza na individual collaborations just to pole pole bring them on to stage. So kama ulikuwa na collab na msee, ilikuwa tanini ya kupanda stage. So I think first was Bensol with Raw because it involves Dex and Okello. Next ni Costa Ojwang na Watendawili with Manyopesa. Then finally they started performing Kodong Clan music, starting with the ones that have been released so far, and then ndio wakaingia sasa kwa unreleased. Who is composed during Yoya's verse? Hey, nobody. Not me. Then that's Kodong. It was released by then. Kodong Clan went ahead and performed the unreleased music. They did Jabba, and they seemed to focus on disco, and I think should be the most streamed song of the album. I also uploaded a video of them performing it live. Must be the first time. So you guys should go and watch that on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. Also go stream Disco album by Kodong Clan. For those who are hearing Kodong Clan for the first time, it's a boy group comprising of Mordecai Dex, Okelo Max, Watendawili, which is Yuaya Tajiri, and Israel Onyach, Costa Ojwang, Charisma, Ben Soul. I hope nimewasema wote. Yeah. The next week on 30th November, same venue, K1, and the event was titled Enroute Station by Watendawili. I didn't review Was a World, so I think it's only fair enough for me to review Enroute Station because I wasn't part of the organizing team this time. I did a brief overview on YouTube. There's a full video, I don't know if it's like 20 something minutes, of all the performances I managed to capture from Enroute Station. It's also on YouTube, so you guys can go check it out. I'm gonna put the link in the description as well. So I went for soundcheck way earlier. Then guess what? I came back and then I took a nap. Even though nearly had a performance here, the Babas. The Babas were opening for Watendawili. Guys, I swear I was tired. I'm sorry. Hey, watu walikuwa wananingoja. Sasa hiyo kumbe ni kuzima, nilikuwa nimezima. But anyway, I arrived when Shad Mziki was performing. He was being done background vocals for by Wamboi Rhea. Hii ndio ile weather. It must have been my first time experiencing Shad Mziki live with a full band, and I was curious to see how his music will sound arranged. And let me tell you, it's impressive. He had just released his project Shereya December, which I'm finding it a bit difficult to consume as a project, but I have a few favorite singles from on there, like the one with Brandy Minor. Hey. That one, Kwanzaa. At first, I didn't receive it a bit too well, and then I saw Maggie K talk about it on her stories, and I was like, let me give this song another chance. And then I went and listened to it, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is definitely a banger.
Your bam bam stick out abundance. We make a bad man so like he never leave. Like panda, designer one time hit. Shot, mother.
Shad called Coastal Drunk to stage to perform the viral TikTok song, Wajue Ni Wewe. And then there was a break where Nick, the DJ, was the one who was performing. Yay! And this time he was with Tugi, who would play the bass guitar. And that was a fire set as always. And then later on, Watenda Willy's band came onto stage to set up. Neville got to introduce Watenda Willy. As always, the Watenda Willy band is Sam Kenya, Edu on drums, Don Tambo on bass guitar, and Jamie Muindi on lead guitar. When the boys came onto stage, they were in suits. Onyache's was red and Yuaya's was gray, or was it black with white stripes? I'm not too sure. The lighting ilikuwa ina peana different illusions. They got to stage as the arrangement ya Sianda played and the crowd sang along. Wow. They started out with For Real and then went into Olo. Onyach alishika bass, Yoya akashika acoustic. And for some reason, I knew that was going to be Maovu. They immediately started, and Maovu is one of the songs zenye tumekuwa tukiomba wa drop since early 2023. And I'm so glad that it was put on the album. They called Costa Ojang onto stage to perform Manyo Pesa. So basically, you see the trend here. They were mixing their old music and their new music. Ndio at least wase wanaimba equally. But unajua nini? Fans wa Watendawili tulikuwa tusha revise hadi album. Hadi album tulikuwa tunaimba word for word. So when you're planning your performances, msiwahi kuwa na stress by the way. Kama mko na stress ati hatutashika lyrics. Hata ukiweka Bensol is a witness for Lion of Suda. Even now for this Enroute. Like hata ukiweka release date leo na ufanye event kesho, kuimba tutaimba. Never doubt fans, Kenyan music fans. The next song was Hadi Kesho and the crowd was singing word for word. Mi nilikuwa napata tu goosebumps. Goosebumps. Okay, Lomax akapanda stage, time ya drill rumba, and as always, the best introduction to drill rumba. Wakaenda kusini, wakajipata na watendawili.
Wakaenda kusini, wakajipata na watendawili. Wakarudi kaskazini, wakajipata na watendawili.
I love that intro so much. It never gets old. It's like reminding you guys, yeah, this somewhere we came from, but this is where we are right now. Antoinette akapanda kudance kama kawaida, energy pump. Drill rumba is a serious energy pump. Then they took another break where they would rest, recharge, and change. DJ Nick took over during the break time with Tugi as well. Amazing set. So the second set started with Shad Mziki with Watendawili, that is Safari. Don stepped forward and played bass alongside Yoaya, who had his acoustic guitar. Iconic, bruh. They performed Ausnya Mombasa, and a lady wearing a dera and her face hidden joined the boys on stage. They said, "Hey, the part that I was waiting for, Aus baby. Hey, Aus Sherry." Hakuna mtu ngoja hiyo part kama mimi. I was ready to fight kama wangesema hiyo part. They performed I Love My Life with Costa Ojwang, who joined them on stage again. Kisan joined them on stage for the old favorites like Sweet Matunda and Asali. Later on, Zinia Manase came onto stage. Banger of the year, brah. Beba was performed. The audience was singing word for word, some more goosebumps. Hadi ilifika point Zinia hakuwa anaamini, akaacha kuimba wasee waimbe. Like, yo, it was such a magical moment. The last few chords that Don played on the bass almost made me cry. Eh, 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 eh.
Let's run it back.
They performed Nyamama with Okello, who joined them on stage. Mnaona mwanzo ya hiyo wimbo where Yaya is singing Nyathi Jose Kongolo. Now the first time I ever heard that was when they went live on Instagram and they were in a recording studio. That was before Woza World, so we were doing promo for Woza World and they were recording that part and it stuck. So the first time I heard that song, I was like, wait, I've actually had this before, but I couldn't place a finger where I've had it. The stars of Nyamama was the band. Hey, they had this build up at the climax. Nusura inimalize. Next, they perform Ayaya without Femi One, and Jamie was just showing off on the lead guitar at this point. They definitely did Inakubalika and Chamtum. Ayomar came onto stage, and she was, strutting on the stage, akijifan. At the end, everyone put their Waza Gang signs up in the air, and the boys took a photo with all of us as they were on stage. And those were the events that I attended in November 2024. Some of the projects that were released in November 2024 were, of course, Enroute by Watenda Willy, Sherehe ya December by Shad Mziki, Back to Basics by Moringi, which is one of my favorite projects from 2024, DEP Volume 1 by Kolo, Story Album by Ori, which we covered the listening party on the podcast, Apartment 14 by Cheru and Shalom, which is also one of my favorite projects from 2024, Coin the Demos by Iana, which is a two-pack project. Decimators released Birds and Bees. I think I have like 2 or 3 favorites from that album. Wanavokali released Vibes and Vocals, and spelling your vocals ni VOK. Yeah. And then lastly, we had Labdi releasing Pakrook, the EP, which is also one of my favorite projects from 2024. So thank you for sticking with me this long. The next episode is going to be the final episode of 2024 events, and then I can tell you guys what I've been up to in January. Not too much though. But yeah, still worth telling you guys. So see you in episode 19. Toodoo.